Joining me now on the show, Dr. Ajay Kumar, a spokesperson of the Congress Party, Sujata Paul, political analyst supporting the Congress Party. We also have PKD Nambiar, political analyst supporting the BJP, and Alok Vats, leader of the BJP, as well as Professor Bhuvan Joshi Bhaskar, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Let me put a photograph here. What we are seeing in the case of Amravati also, and PKD Nambiar, I want to bring you in over here. What has been said by some people is that this person was a supporter of Navneet Rana and Ravi Rana. So today, had it been any ordinary common person, they would have been questioned by the police. In this case, because these people are politicians, do they get away with it without being questioned?
Navneet Rana just now categorically denied that he has ever met them.
There is a larger conspiracy.
Saw it on your television.
I'll come back to you, Alok Vats. Let PKD Nambiar answer that question.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, PKD Nambiar.
If we go one after another, the different cases on their merits, then we will be missing the larger point. The larger point for me is that there is a political jihad is taking place. There is a large amount of infiltration in political parties, like a sleeper cells are now active. The sooner the political parties do understand and work on it, irrespective of a political party, I think today we should be discussing the seriousness of this rather than thinking of from the point of view of one political party or the other one. If you really recall, in the last 4 or 5 years back, maybe Dr. Ajay Kumar, being a Congress spokesperson, would be knowing it. In the state of Kerala, this has been identified by the Left Democratic Front and the left parties multiple times, that many PFI and SDPI workers, they have two colors. During the day, they will have one color. In the night, they have another color. So even in one of the SFI worker in Ernakulam Maharaja's College, which was a very famous, infamous killing of a young SFI activist. Then later on, which has clearly been got to know that it was by the SDPI workers. Now the same SDPI leaders and the PFI leaders are even now infiltrating in the DYFI and other places. But now with the series of these events, Udaipur, Amravati and Jammu and Kashmir and etc., now it is clear that political jihad and a large amount of sleeper cells are now taking a shed.
PKD Nambiar, even if we take your argument, as a relevant one over here, the fact remains that even if they have infiltrated into the political parties, it's a very serious scenario, as you're yourself pointing out.
To the country?
Yes, I think PKD Nambiar made that point, that it is a very serious issue, and if this kind of he believes it's an infiltration. PKD Nambiar wants to make a point. PKD Nambiar, go ahead, and then I'll go across to Professor Bhuvan Joshi. He's been patiently waiting. Go on, PKD Nambiar.
Absolutely, I agree with you. See, I think Ajayji is a former IPS officer or a former police officer, and just imagine if every thing which take place in this country, whether it is a small law and order or a big law and order, if everything has to be addressed by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister of this country, then we don't require Chief Ministers and the State Home Ministers and State Polices. I think the larger point which we are missing in this debate today, and it's a very, very serious debate, and we are just getting into micro issues of one or two, and this is a very normal tactics of the Congress. The larger issue is that in every political party there are infiltration taking place, and these sleeper cells are going to be very dangerous for all of us. Irrespective of the political party, today you may have found it in only in two political parties, that is CPIM and in the BJP. Tomorrow it might happen in Congress. It may be already active. You never know. So I think what we need to discuss today is that these infiltrators are terrorists. They are sleeper cells, and they are already in the action, and they have two different colors. During the day, one color, and in the evening another
PKD Nambiar, let me now go across to Professor Bhuvan Joshi.
उत्तर प्रदेश के विकास के लिए उसकी लड़ाई को लड़ने का काम करता है।
PKD Nambiar, since you wanted to make a point, and I want to come back to you, since you're making this big allegation here, or this revelation, I don't know how to really put it, because the police hasn't said, or the investigating agencies have so far not said anything about the possibility of terrorists infiltrating political parties. But if that's what you're suggesting, PKD Nambiar, it's a very serious situation. Then what is the way out? How do the political parties look at the situation?
That's what precisely. And I wanted to just take you back. This is nothing new in this Indian political scenario. If you really look at the history of Indian politics, even during the Congress time before the 1947, how the communist parties and the Naxalbari movement was also in the same fashion, that infiltrating in the mainstream political parties and making more of like creating shadow committees, and then finally either breaking it or taking control of the political party. This is nothing new. This has done even
Ajay Kumar, we'll leave it at that. Many thanks to all 5 of our panelists for joining us here on this discussion this evening. With that, we're taking a very quick break. We'll be back with a lot more. Stay with us.